Hello everyone, welcome to Telangana Exam Center. Today in our Master Mains Classes series, we are going to discuss the question number 11th of Indian economy. So the question is like this: what is deficit financing? Very important question for the Group 1 Mains examination and also for the UPSC for sure. Okay, what is deficit financing? Discuss its importance and drawbacks. Okay, all the aspirants who are preparing for 2025 and 2026 examination for any of these public service commission, for them this particular question is very significant. It is one of the important policy issue and policy aspect of planning. Okay, right. Before going into the discussion, as you know that those who are watching me for the very first time, please make sure that when you're writing your mains answer, you have to take care of part 1. These are the various important dimensions that you have to take care of and have to represent it chronologically in your answer. Part 2 is all about qualitative aspect of your answer. So make sure that you follow this particular pattern so that it suffices 150 marks for UPSC and 250 marks for state PSCs. Before going into the discussion again, please don't mind. So our institution is basically catering to one-stop solution with regard to what economy and Telangana formation. Along with that, you will be getting Telangana current affairs, the economic survey, outlook, Indian current affairs, Indian economic survey, Indian budget, any official reports of the government of Telangana or India, which are important for the examination. So Telangana economy, with Indian economy, and the third area of the economy. So basically, two important papers are being dealt by me directly with all the mentees and all the students. So we are here targeting what? Out of 300 marks for these two papers, whether it is group 1 or group 2, you should at least get around 220, 240 plus marks. That is our main target. Means I want all of you to crack, or you can cross 100, 110 plus marks for sure in these subjects. Okay. Telangana current affairs are anyhow important for all the examination which are conducted under the sky of TGPSC. Make sure that you don't skip to subscribe to this particular current affairs. The link for the subscription of 1 year validity for the current affairs is given in the description with a minimum affordable prices. Okay, right. So you have called to me on this number or message me. We can have a demo session. You can discuss everything, whatever your doubts are there. So this particular article has been taken from Economic Times. So it talks about what is known as deficit financing along with its importance and drawback. Many things we can also include in here, but as because we are having time and space constraint, this is the most apt answer as given in the article. But 2-3 important points you can include in the complete answer to make it look more qualitative, which you will study in your classes when you enroll the classes with me. Right. So you have to start your answer with the introduction by actually giving the definition. Deficit financing involves raising funds to cover a deficit resulting from expenditures exceeding revenues. Deficit, commonly understandable thing, is nothing but revenues are less than expenditures, or you say that expenditures are more than revenues. This is the main aspect of deficit. This is a situation where deficit happen. When you are having deficit, obviously what you have to do, you have to raise money or not. Very common. You just see your household expenditure also. If your expenditure of the house is more than what you are earning, what do? You either take a loan, you either borrow the money from your friends, relatives or banks. These are the sources of loans or sources of borrowings. In the same way, the government will also have deficit. In that case, government also try to borrow from various sources. But our question is not about various sources of deficit financing. This particular point you have to remember. Deficit financing, I have asked a question as importance and drawbacks, that only you have to constrain. As I always tell you that address the question first and write any other thing afterwards. Whatever blah blah you want to do, you do it after addressing the question. Before addressing the question, don't get into that particular unrelated, irrelevant things at this particular point. Okay, right. So simply we have written deficit financing is nothing but raising money in order to cover the deficit that happens because of expenditures and revenues. This shortfall is typically filled by borrowings from the public through bond sale or by issuing new currency. This is nothing but these 2 points I have given, these 2 words I have given in order to make the examiner understand that, see, I know the sources, but the question is not about sources of deficit financing, but I have given you as an overview that where government can fulfill its deficit. Government can fulfill its deficit from the by sale of public bonds or by issuing of new currency. Now let us see the importance. So in importance, deficit financing helps in higher growth rate. Higher growth rate is our subheading here. In developing countries like India, achieving higher growth rate is crucial. This growth is necessitated, by substantial financial resources. If you don't have much finance resource or money resource with you, you cannot go for higher growth rate, because you need to invest in infrastructure, you need to give subsidies and financial or fiscal incentives to the entrepreneurs or to the business firms. For that purpose, you require huge amount of money to. Then the second important aspect of why we have to go for deficit financing means when the private sector investment is less. Private sector is reluctant to make significant expenditures. If you see the private sector of today's time, Tata, Ambani, Birlas, do you really see them on the ground level that they have taken a water supply project, they have taken a dam channeling project or reservoir project, or they have taken a project of like says NIMS construction? No, because they are very long gestation period, they don't invest in that. Despite efforts to mobilize revenue through taxes, deficits are frequently financed through borrowings or by currency issuance. So I have written some importance of deficit financing and also the resources here. Now, financing of deficit, how it was there. Up until 1997, the then government used to finance the budget deficit through currency printing only. Print the currency will be asked, RBI will be asked to do that, RBI will do and give the money to the government. There were not many options available at that time in 1970s, as a country's saving rate was less than 9%. So when money is not there with us only, so what we'll deposit in the bank, and from bank what we are going to do the investment, right? So that is not possible to go for a higher growth trajectory. That is the reason printing currency was the only way out at that particular time. The country's saving rate was only 9%, which was not enough to fund our investment. Moreover, government revenues were also very low at that time, because at that time taxes were very small business people were there who are actually doing the manufacturing. Service sector was not that developed, many diversification of industries and service did not happen, and agriculture has never been taxed. So that's why government generally have very less taxes and people have small savings, and public borrowings were restricted. So this is how the financing of a deficit was there until 1971. After that, the financing of a deficit has been elaborated by taking foreign loans, asking from bilateral loans are also there, by raising from national pension, PFRDA, provident fund accounts, from national small savings accounts, by issuing sovereign gold bond schemes. So many kinds of resources we are having by which the government can fulfill its deficit. Now, what is the drawback of deficit financing? The first one is inflationary pressure. So more money into the market, it means more demand is being done, and more demand will lead to increase in the prices of goods and services. So excess money supply will always have a risk of inflationary pressure. That is what we will also see here. So more currency. So taking money from the people makes less amount of money in the market, but printing new currencies, so existing money is there with the people, now new money is being added by printing the currency. What will happen? The money supply will increase. So that is the problem here. Issuing new currency increases the money supply, which can lead to inflationary pressure by driving the prices of goods and services. Now, because of increasing money supply in the market, the demand will also get boosted. Deficit financing is inherently inflationary because it boosts aggregate demand, potentially exacerbating inflationary risk. So exacerbating means whatever the inflation is there, it becomes even more. That risk will become higher when we go for printing of currency. And deficit financing also affect investment. Deficit financing can adversely impact investment because inflation prompts employee. Like if the inflation is increasing, prices of goods and services are increasing, as an employee I will ask my employer, sir, I am not able to fulfill my expenses of the house because very less salary, please increase the salary. So we actually demand more salary with the employers, because we have to maintain our purchasing power with regard to goods and services. If these demands are met, production costs will rise, which can deter investors from expanding their operations. So when the production cost of a particular unit is increasing, the investor will say that no, that there is a lot of inflation is also why to expand our business now, let us expand it later. A more later expansion, later employment, later output, later economic growth, that cycle will run. So that's why deficit financing will also affects what? Investment, because of increasing inflationary pressure. When the inflation happens, we as an employee demand more wages. When we demand more wages in order to match up the purchasing power, what will happen? The cost of production of the business persons will increase, and that's why they will be apprehensive or delay their decision to expand the business. Conclusion: deficit financing increases inflation, we have already seen, which directly benefit producer, obviously they can charge higher, and businessmen, but creates hardship for fixed income earners like us and creates more socio-economic issues like inflation. That's why it is important for the policy makers, okay, to carefully raise the borrowings that keeps checks and balances for investment and inflation. So deficit financing, as we have seen, also have a very larger drawbacks. That's why it is important whenever government go for deficit financing, should maintain a balance between what? It should not increase so much inflation, not decrease what? Investment. So these two things government has to look after, when they are going for deficit financing. I hope this is clear to you. Do enroll in the courses and do empower us, and like this many mains question and answer you will be writing for DG formation and for Indian economy, Telangana economy, whatever it is. 300 marks are with me. Along with that, full-fledged mentorship will also be given to you. So no need to worry about it. You will get through the examination. I have a proven track record with regard to making toppers. So you can be a part of it. Thank you. Take care.